नामे हे जी अनुराग मोर नाही जनमल नामे अनुराग मोर भक्ति विनोद चित्त दुखे विभोर भक्ति विनोद चित्त दुखे विभोर तुहु दया सागर तारई ते प्राणी नाम अनेक तुया शिकाय लियानी। परम सौभाग्य श्री हरि नाम का जाप करते हुए
we are extremely fortunate that while chanting the holy names of the Lord,
श्रीमद् भागवत कथा का श्रवण कर रहे हैं
and we are listening to the Shrimad Bhagvat Katha simultaneously.
जिनकी महिमा हमारे वेदों ने
The
पुराणों ने
chanting of the holy name, the glories of which have been sung by all the Vedas, Shastras, and our saints and sages. Thakur Bhakti Vinod Thakur says
प्रभु आप अत्यंत दया के सागर हो
that you are the ocean of mercy.
तुहु दया सागर तारई ते प्राणी तुहु दया सागर हे कृष्ण तू दया का
Daya Sagar means Krishna. You are the ocean of mercy. And as you are benevolent, Tariyete Prani, that means that is why you want to deliver all the humans or living entities. You have given a perfect solution or medium to deliver the living entities. And what Lord Krishna did? You have given your name so that to liberate or deliver the living entities. And in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you came, and by taking your own name, you set an example of how we should chant the holy names, how we should live with the holy names in our life. You are extremely merciful. And for that is the reason you have provided your holy name to the living entities or humans. Oh Krishna, you have provided all your energy in your holy name. And to take or chant the name, your holy name, there is no regulation of why and how, at what time the names could be chanted. So there is no bondage of time. Anybody can chant whatever way they feel, and still they will be able to cross the material ocean of misery. And that is the reason Ramayana mentions the verse in front of your screen on the pillow panel. Oh, human, if you have faith in me, then there is no time or yuga as Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy.
राम गुण गण विमल भवतर बिन ही प्रयास, क्योंकि इस कलयुग में
Because in this Kali Yuga, just by chanting the holy names, you can cross the material world. And there is no time frame when we can chant or when we should chant. There is no thought about the condition on which we are, and we can chant the holy names wherever and whenever we can.
तुया दया एचन परम उदारा, अतिशय मंदनाथ भाग हमारा। हे प्रभु, आपने तो अपनी ओर से
Oh
बनता
Lord, you have
प्रभु, आपने अपनी ओर से जितना हो सकता
done
था
the
सीमित जीवों
utmost
को बहुत मिनिमाइज
that
करके, बहुत
you could
सरल
do.
सिंपल करके दे
You
दिया,
made it so simple
अपना नाम
for
दिया,
the
नाम के अंदर
people
इतनी
in
सकल
Kali
शक्ति,
Yuga.
सारी
You
शक्तियां भर
have
दिया, और फिर
transferred
वही
all your power or
अपात्र परम
potency
पिता पवित्र
into your
आत्मा को
holy
आपने नहीं
names,
रखा। आपने अपना पूरा प्रयास किया,
and you
लेकिन
have given
दुर्भाग्य
your
है मेरा,
100%.
ठाकुर
But it
भक्ति
is
अमृत कहते
our
हैं
extreme
कि दुर्भाग्य है मेरा
unfortune
कि ऐसे हरि नाम में मेरा अनुराग, मेरा प्रेम उत्पन्न नहीं हो
that
रहा है।
we have
नान्य
no
जन्म लय
attraction
नामे
towards the
अनुराग,
chanting of your holy names.
नहीं जन्म मन नहीं जन्म ले रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है इस नाम में अनुराग। ये भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर
So,
की बात
nahi janmal means that there is
कोई
no
इतना
birth
लंबा है, लेकिन फिर
of
भी
attraction
इस नाम में अनुराग
in
नहीं हो
us.
रहा है, इस
Although
नाम में
your
प्रेम
holy
नहीं
names
हो
are
रहा
so
है।
glorious,
भक्ति विनोद चित्त दुखे विभोर, इसीलिए भक्ति
and
विनोद
that is the reason Bhaktivinoda Thakur
बड़ा
is
दुखी है।
extremely unhappy and
इसी बात
distressed.
श्री चैतन्य
Similar
महाप्रभु
thing
अपने शिक्षा अष्टकम में करते हैं।
is mentioned in
श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने अपने पूरे जीवन काल में
Shri Shiksha Ashtakam by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
केवल 8 श्लोक दिए,
In his lifetime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just
किसी भी
given
श्लोक में
8 verses to this
श्री
world,
चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहते हैं,
and there he
राम
says,
नाम कारी बहुदा निज सर्व शक्ति, तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणे न कालः, एतादशी तव कृपा हे भगवन् ममापि, दुर्दैवमिदृशमिहा जनिनानुरागः। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहते हैं कि
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says,
निज सर्व शक्ति,
Namanakari
आपने
Bahuda
इसको
Nirja
बहुत
Sarva
बार सुना
Shakti.
होगा,
You might have heard this
इस्कॉन में
verse
रहते हुए
or shlok
आपने ये
so many
सुना
times in
होगा,
Iskcon.
गाया होगा,
You
गुनगुनाया
might have
होगा,
sung it so many times.
लेकिन इस पर थोड़ा सा विचार किया जाए।
But we
श्री
should
चैतन्य महाप्रभु
contemplate
कहते
on
हैं कि
this.
नामना
Chaitanya
मकारी बहुधा
Mahaprabhu
निज
says
सर्व
that
शक्ति,
The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna has put all his potency into his holy names, and when we chant the holy names, all that potency is transferred to us. So, what is the potency or energy that the Lord has transferred this in his holy name? We haven't given a thought on that. So, let me just give you 15 of the energies that are transferred in his holy names. Although there are innumerous energies, but let me just share 15. So, so So I'm putting it on the so that you may note it down as well. So this is from the Siksha Ishtakam's third verse. The below verse on the screen, Namanakari Bahuda. So what are the energies in the Mahamantra? So let me share the 15 of them. So the first is Sampada Shakti.
संपदा शक्ति. संपदा समझते हैं?
So what is Sampada?
हरि नाम में भगवान ने जो संपदा माने संपत्ति.
Sampada means wealth or sampatti. So the Lord has kept transcendental wealth in his holy names. So even the material wealth is so much important. Even if people criticize the material opulence, but yet it gives us the capability to buy anything. We can buy a home or street or a shop, an aircraft, etc. So even if the ordinary material wealth can facilitate so much, then the potency that the Lord has kept in his holy names is not material, it's spiritual or transcendental. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the Lord has kept all his potency in his holy names.
दरिद्रय नाशिनी शक्ति.
So the Sampada Shakti also means Daridra. Lakshmi Prapti Sampatti. So we can elaborate it a lot, but at least let's understand in short. The first potency is Sampada Shakti, or the transcendental opulence or wealth. So those who chant the holy names get filled with the transcendental wealth. So, on this Sampada Shakti, Sanatan Goswami, on other hand, Shivji is telling me to discuss about them. So, once upon a time, there was a man. He was in need of money. And he thought that instead of wasting his time here and there, let me pray to Lord Shiva. This is a true story. So Shivji became happy and he asked, that, what do you desire? So he said that I want a touchstone or a paras money. Shivji said that if you want paras money or touchstone, then in Vrindavan on the banks of Yamuna Ji, there is my friend whose name is Sanatan Goswami, and he has a touchstone, and if you give my name, he will provide it to you. He had great faith in Lord Shiva, and he went to the hut of Sanatan Goswami. After seeing his abode, he he thought that maybe Shivji has committed some mistake, because if somebody has a touchstone, will he stay in a hut or a hermitage? So, because he is capable to make gold out of iron and he can live a opulent life, but yet he entered inside and he said that Lord Shivji has sent me and I want the touchstone that you have. So Sanatan Goswami said that, yeah, you in that dustbin there is that touchstone and you can take it from there. Army, that man went and he was going through the trash and finally he got the touchstone and he tested it with some iron that he had and it turned into gold, and he started running towards his home. But then while running because he was intelligent, he gave a thought that if a person keeps touchstone in a trash can, that means he has something more valuable, precious than that touchstone. That's the reason he has thrown it in the trash. Otherwise, why will he keep it there? So he came back to Sanatan Goswami said, he said that the touchstone you have kept in trash, that means that you have something more precious. Sanatan Goswami affirmed and said yes. So that man said that I I want a better wealth than this. So Sanatan Goswami told him that if you want that wealth, then you go and throw this touchstone in the Yamuna Ji. And this man, he threw the touchstone in Yamuna Ji and begged for the wealth. So Sanatan Goswami said that with this touchstone, you can generate wealth, you can get all the material desires fulfilled, but the wealth that I am going to share with you, the Hari Nam that I'm going to share with you, you would be able to buy the husband of Goddess of Fortune, Lord Sri Krishna. And that is the reason it is called Sampada Shakti, or the transcendental potency or wealth of the Lord. It is also called Daritri Nashini as well. So I don't have that much time to discuss in detail, but and I'm just sharing some little pointers. So the second potency is Bhuvan Pavini Shakti. So, Bhuvan Pavini Shakti means that a person who chants the holy name wherever he walks on this earth, that earth becomes purified. And he not only purifies himself, but he also purifies his environment around him. You real, you can see an example that if you see someone who chants the holy names, that people automatically get attracted towards them. He is like a magnet and he attracts people. Why? Because he has purified himself by chanting the holy names. If even the impurest of the place can be purified by chanting the holy names. When Srila Prabhupada came to US from India or Bharat, he was preaching the chanting of the holy name. He didn't had any money and he was struggling, and he used to go to the liquor shops and he used to buy those shops, and he transformed these places into huge temples. So the place where liquor was manufactured were transformed into temples. That is the potency of Harinam. That is Bhuvan Pavini Shakti, or the potency that purifies the environment or material world. So if people say that there is some trouble, there is some ghost or etc. So if we just chant the holy names, the whole material world gets purified. And the third potency is, you can see on the screen, I have split the shloka or the verse so that you can easily understand. So the third potency is Sarva Vyadhi Vinashini Shakti. So by the chanting of the holy name, the disease that are supposed to distress us, disturb us, can be relieved. Even Ayurveda supports this. Ayurveda says that when you take a medicine, if you take the medicine in your right hand and then you chant the holy name or Mahamantra 21 times, after chanting the 21 times the holy name and then you take the medicine, so it will get so much potency that the medicine that you were supposed
देखो शास्त्रीय प्रमाण तो हम आपको रोज देते हैं. मैं आपको एक जनरल एग्जांपल, गांधी जी का नाम तो सुना होगा.
you will be able to treat or cure your disease. So you might have heard of Mahatma Gandhi, who did so much political freedom fight that he was fighting. So one time he became so much disease that he fainted and he was treated, and when he got his consciousness, he saw that he was surrounded by all the doctors and nurses, etc. And Gandhiji that time told that you all gathered here. Rather than doing this, you should have chanted the holy names, then I would have become more pleased and I would have recovered fast. So he said that, so Gandhiji tells them his story that when my mother was 86-year old and I was fighting the freedom of struggle, and my mother was very sick in the ashram, and she was told that she will live only for 24 more hours, and Gandhiji was summoned as she was in her last stage of life. So although Gandhiji was her son, but still she used to consider him as his spiritual master, her spiritual master. So she said that now it's my last time on this earth. What shall I do? So Gandhiji told her that you should chant the holy names. So it's yesterday's history that that 86-year-old woman who was told that she won't be able to live more than 24 hours, but after chanting the holy names, his mother survived for 72 months and she recovered. Although she was on her deathbed, but yet she recovered. How? Why? Because the holy names have Sarva Vyadhini Vinashini Shakti, that is the potency to cure our diseases. So, this is the third potency. So, the fourth potency is Sarva Dukharini Shakti. So, any any kind of distress or sadness can be removed or absolved by chanting the holy names. All the big troubles like mountains will turn out to be as small as a mustard seed. Then the fifth is Kalikal Bhujang Bhai Nashini Shakti. That is, she has the potency to remove the faults of this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is filled with all the faults and shortcomings. In Ramayana, it has been discussed in detail that Kali Yuga is extreme, and if we chant the holy names in Kali Yuga, then the shortcomings or faults of Kali Yuga will not touch us. Then the sixth power is whenever we chant the holy name, then all these energies or potencies affect us. So the sixth is Narkodharini Shakti. So if it is already decided that this person will go to hell, because whatever we have done or whatever sins we have accumulated, that and it's fixed that we go we are he's going to hell, then this holy name has a potency to even deliver us from the hellish condition. or hellish planetary system. There is an example from Bhagavatam, an Ajamil who had committed all types of sins, and even at the deathbed, there were three associates of Yamraj and were trying to drag his soul from his body. On his deathbed, Ajamil chanted the holy name that immediately the associates of Lord Vishnu came there and they saved him from going through the hellish planets. Although he was chanting through the medium of his son, but yet he was delivered and he saved his trip to hell. Then the seventh is Dukhada Prarabdha Vinashini Shakti. So Prarabdha is Prarabdha is whatever we might do, but still we will have to suffer the consequences of whatever we have done in our past lives. Maybe happiness or sadness that we suffer in this world is due to our prarabdha or our actions for which we are facing the consequences or reactions. So if but even if we are hated by the whole world, but if we stand the holy name, then all those who have criticized us or blasphemed us would fall at our feet. The example is from Bhagavatam, Dhruv Maharaj, whose mother has blasphemed him and thrown him out of the house. But when he met the Lord, after chanting his name, she apologized to him. In Bhagvat Gita, Krishna says that Bhajante Mam, the one who chants my holy name, is great. And I say and I agree that he is magnificent. So this is the seventh potency. The eighth is Karma Sampurti Karini Shakti.
देखिए कर्म हम लोग जीवन में कई सारे कर्म करते हैं.
So in this life we perform so many actions. So usually when we act, we consider the astrology, but if we have taken the shelter of the holy names, then there is no need to consult astrology. I know quite a few Bhagavad Vachak or the speakers of Shrimad Bhagvat. So they consult the astrological calendar, and that is the system that they consult the astrology. But it is for those who has not taken the shelter of the holy names. We never consult any astrology, but Yet the Bhagavad Katha becomes successful. Why? Because we have taken the shelter of the holy names. So if we chant the holy names, then all the karam khandas are performed automatically. So this is the eighth potency of Harinam or holy names. So if there is someone who is a Brahmin, you might be aware that so after performing all the karma kanda, a Brahman Devata says a statement that if by some fault there has been some mistake in this activity, then we will chant the holy name and we will complete it. Why? Because this is the potency of the holy name. That is karma sampurati karini shakti. So the ninth potency is sarva ved tirthadik faldaini shakti. So in Bharat, people who read Vedas, they are considered as exalted, and people literally bow down at their lotus feet. But in front of, if there is one, if a person who has read two Vedas is considered more pious than a person who has read only one Veda, and so on and so forth. So these are the degrees, Divedi, Trivedi, and Chaturvedi. Chaturvedi is the person who has read all the four Vedas. But if someone chants the holy name of the Lord, then they are even given respect by the Chaturvedis or the person who has read all the four Vedas. Because all the conclusion of the Vedas is Harinam or chanting of the holy names. If you have read all the Vedas but you don't chant, then there is no benefit of reading them. But if you haven't even read the Vedas but yet you chant the holy names, then that means that you have understood the essence of all the Vedas. So the person who chants gets the benefit of knowing of all the Vedas. And apart from that, he gets the benefit of visiting all the holy pious places. So the 10th potency is Sarva Artha Daini Shakti. Just give it a try. We all should try it. Whatever work that we find the utmost difficult, imagine there is a student, he is weak in maths or in any other subject. Whatever is your shortcoming, so what should you do? You get up at Brahmurata or early morning and you do the chanting, and then you start practicing that subject and you will become an expert in 3 months. Why? Because the holy names have the potency of Sarva Arthadaini Shakti. So in whatever subject you want to be an expert, you should take the shelter of holy name and you should start that work and you will be successful. This is my own experience. Otherwise, an ordinary person like me has learned so many verses. It's not possible. It is just by the shelter of the holy names. The 11th potency is let me tell you that this is a verse which I have divided and made it in a sequence so that you can understand it better. So the 11th is Jagat Anand Daini Shakti. So the holy name has the potency that can give pleasure to the entire material world. When we chant the holy names, we feel ecstasy and we are overwhelmed with pleasure. And when our heart is filled with overwhelming happiness or pleasure, then we feel that everything surrounding us is ecstatic or happy. So when we chant the holy names, our heart becomes filled with happiness and ecstasy. So the 12th potency is Jagat Dan Daini Shakti. If I break it, then it means Jagat Dan Daini Shakti. It is a beautiful potency of the Lord. So, what is your capacity to give donation or charity? Our capacity is 100, 200, 500. Even if we do some, I am not looking for charity, but I'm just giving you an example here that if we have to give some charity, then how much can we offer? But the Lord has kept this 12th potency, that is Jagadayani Shakti. So when you chant the holy names, you will get the result of you will get the result of giving the whole material world as charity or donation. Even the poorest of the person, if he chants the holy names, get this result. So, so the 13th potency is that is Amit Gadi Daini Shakti. That means that a person gets Amit Gati, that is beyond our imagination, and we progress that much in this Harinam has that much capability. So if we see an example of Ratnakar Daku, he used to kill animals. Just when he took the shelter of Harinam, he became the sage Valmiki and he wrote Ramayana. And he got the potency by just chanting the holy names. He progresses that much in the spiritual life, that is Amit Gadi Ti Daini Shakti. Now the 14th potency is Mukti Pradayini Shakti. When we start chanting the holy names, so the first thing that comes is mukti or liberation. But a devotee doesn't even cares about liberation or mukti. he rejects all of those liberation, types of liberation and siddhis or accomplishments. So the 15th potency is Bhagvat Priti Daini Shakti.
भगवत प्रीति दायिनी, भगवान के प्रति प्रेम प्रदान करने वाली शक्ति,
So this is the
भगवान के प्रति प्रेम
potency that provides the love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna.
कि हम
So
सब भक्त एक साथ मिलकर जो
we
लीला
all
दे रहे हैं,
gather here and
उस
chant
राम की
the holy
महत्व
names.
असीम
So
अपरिसीम महिमा
this
है।
glories, the glories of
कौन
this
सुन
holy
रहा है?
name
भक्त हरि
are
नाम बहुत सारे हैं, और
innumerable.
भागवत कथा सुन रहे हैं, और भागवत कथा
And
में हरि नाम
apart
का
from that,
जाप
we are
करना
listening to the
और
Bhagavad
जाप के
Katha
साथ साथ
and
कीर्तन करना,
we are
तो उससे
chanting,
भी अधिक महिमा
listening
होगी।
the Katha and performing the Sankirtanam. That is the
हमारे
most glorious of
भारत के
all.
संतों ने बहुत सुंदर कहा,
In India, the sages have said very beautifully,
औषधि खरी नियत से खाय, सुनिए, राम नाम की औषधि खरी नियत से खाय, अंग रोग व्यापे नहीं, अंग रोग व्यापे नहीं, महारोग मिट जाए, महारोग मिट जाए। ये राम नाम, कृष्ण नाम, ये महामंत्र एक औषधि के समान है।
the chanting of the holy names is like a medicine. And if we
कुछ लोग राम नाम लेते तो हैं,
chant the holy names with
अब नियत का अर्थ क्या मैं आपको बताऊं, ये औषधि जो
niyat,
है,
so let me
यदि
explain
भगवान
the
का
word
नाम
niyat
लें
here.
और भगवान का नाम लेने के साथ हम कीर्तन करें, नृत्य करें,
So when we chant the holy names, then
लगता है साइंस
we
कहता है,
chant
हमारे देश के
and
विज्ञानी
dance
कहते हैं कि
and do
हमारे
Sankirtan,
और हमारे पांव में
then
कुछ
our
ऐसे
hands and
पल्स
our
हैं
feet
जिसका सारा
have
कनेक्शन
such
हमारे हार्ट से, हमारे दिमाग से, हमारे पूरे शरीर से है।
points that
तो जब
affect
हम
our
हरि नाम
heart,
कीर्तन करते
mind,
हैं
and body.
और
So
कीर्तन
when we
करते
chant the
हुए,
holy
ताली
names
बजाते हुए, नृत्य
and then
करके
we
नाचते
clap
हैं,
or dance,
तो ताली बजाते हुए
then
हाथों के जो पॉइंट हैं
so
वो
when we clap,
एक्यूप्रेशर होते हैं,
then
और
there is an
नाचते हुए
aqua
हमारे
pressure
पाँव में
in
जो भी पॉइंट
our
हैं वो
hands,
एक्यूप्रेशर होते हैं, और साथ ही साथ
and
नाचते
even
नाचते
the
हमारा
feet
सांस
get
फूल जाता है, उससे
touched the aqua
प्राणायाम होता
pressure.
है,
And while
तो हार्ट
dancing,
में एक्यूप्रेशर
the
होता है,
heartbeat goes
एक्यूप्रेशर
up
और
and it's
प्राणायाम, ये तीनों
a
होता है।
sort of
लेकिन करना क्या होगा,
pranayam.
राम नाम की
But
औषधि
what are
खरी
we
नियत से
supposed
खाए,
to
नियत
do?
से। कुछ लोग
Niyat
नाचते हैं
se.
लेकिन बस केवल ऐसे हिलते हैं, ज्यादा नियत गलत होती है। जैसे मीराबाई नाची थी, उन्मुक्त
So
भाव से
we
उच्च
should
स्वर में कीर्तन
dance
करते हुए
with
ईमानदारी
full
से यदि कोई
ecstasy,
नाचता है तो फल क्या
with
मिलेगा, अंग रोग
honesty,
व्यापे नहीं,
like Mirabai.
तो उसके
And
जीवन में
what will
कोई शरीर
happen
का रोग नहीं
if
होगा,
we chant the
उसके
holy
शरीर में
names
किसी
with
प्रकार का कोई रोग
honesty?
होगा तो महारोग मिट
And
जाए, उस
then
शरीर का रोग नहीं होगा। और महारोग
we
कौन
will
सा है,
not have any kind
पुनरपि
of
जननम
disease.
पुनरपि मरणम
And
पुनरपि
the
जन्म मरण
Maharog,
कलेश, यानी
that
बार
is
बार जन्म
the
लेना
repeated
मरना,
cycle
इसे
of
महारोग
birth
कहते
and
हैं।
death, is
वो
the
कभी नहीं
biggest of
होगा,
all
एक
disease in this
संकीर्तन
world.
करने से, ताली बजाते
So
हुए, नृत्य
if we
करके
do
संकीर्तन करने
Sankirtana
से शरीर का
or
रोग दूर हो जाता है,
dance,
और भव रोग,
then
महारोग,
we
जन्म
can be
मरण का
cured of
रोग
all the
दूर हो जाता
diseases,
है। इसलिए 5
even
मिनट के लिए
the
खड़े होकर भाव से
extreme
कीर्तन करते हुए,
disease of repeated birth and death.
राधे मेरी स्वामिनी, जय जय नवल किशोर, जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु, जय जय माखन चोर, जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna, I welcome you all, the devotees who've gathered here, who have special attraction towards the holy names and Bhagavatam, especially the senior Vaishnavas or devotees from the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, and all who have gathered here through the medium of YouTube, Facebook, etc., all the listeners of this Bhagvatam Katha, and in particular, the organizers who have taken the shelter of the holy names and have organized this beautiful Katha in pursuit of achieving the mercy of the holy name or the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. From Delhi, let us remember their ancestors, Lakshmi Narayanji, Murti Devi, Uma Devi, etc. So, by taking the blessings of these pious ancestors, the organizers of this beautiful Katha, Srimati Ramvati Mataji, Rajesh Prabhu, Suman Mata, Sanjay ji, Saroj ji, and Naresh ji and Suman ji, and all the kids. I welcome you all on the fourth day of this Bhagavatam Katha. I welcome you all, and I pray at my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
वैसे तो आज अमेरिका में द्वादशी है,
Although in US it is Dwadashi, but in Bharat or India, the 13th day of the lunar calendar, that is the Triyodashi, has started. And according to the Vedic calendar, today is the manifestation day of Lord Nityananda. And it is referred as Nityananda Triyodashi. If we try to speak the glories of today's auspicious day, then the whole day can elapse. So we will listen about him in detail, but as today it's his birthday or manifestation day, so let's remember him. So in the Treta Yuga, when Lakshmanji was a younger brother of Lord Sri Ram, and in Dwapara he manifested as Dauji, or the elder brother of Lord Sri Krishna. Because Lakshmanji could not tolerate that although in my presence Lord Ramchandra was facing so many difficulties and distress, and he was attacked, and whenever Lord Sri Ram was attacked, Lakshmanji wanted to battle, but Lord Sri Ram always told him not to do the same, and as he was elder, so Lakshmanji had to oblige, and he couldn't serve the Lord properly, and that is why he asked for a benediction that now onwards I don't want to be your younger brother, but I want to be your elder brother. And as our eyelashes protect our eyes, similarly, I will protect you. And in Dwapar Yuga, Lakshmanji became Balaram, and when Krishna wanted to manifest as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years back, then Lakshmanji manifested as Nityanand Prabhu, and he is no other than Lakshman or Balaram. Nityanand Prabhu is very magnificent. Our philosophers or acharyas have said that without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we cannot achieve Radha or Krishna's eternal love. He started the Sankirtana movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a desire to preach, but he was unable to do that preaching to that extent. And so he thought that now Nityanand Prabhu is required because in his absence, I won't be able to give Harinam, but I won't be able to expand. The Lord only desires, but his desires are fulfilled or accomplished by Balaramji, Lord Nityananda. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire was fulfilled by Lord Nityananda. There are so many pastimes in Navadip. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Lord Nityananda. One day I was discussing that the most merciful is Lord Sri Krishna, and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is far more merciful than Lord Krishna as well. And Nityanand Prabhu is even more merciful than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he gave the pure devotional service to the person who were entangled in this material world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Harinam to people who wanted it, but Nityanand Prabhu gave his mercy and Harinam to people who were the lowest of the low people. And once Lord Nityananda was attacked by such people, Jagai and Madai, and although he was attacked and his blood was oozing from his head, but yet he said that still he requested that please say Harinam once. So he had so much mercy that even if he was attacked by the sinners, yet he told them that at least chant Harinam once. That is the utmost mercy which only Nityanand Prabhu can have. So, so he is the most merciful of all, even greater than Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the epitome of bona fide spiritual master or guru tattva. Let me remind you that Raghunath Das Goswami, who was very rich, and he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said that I want to accompany you. Mahaprabhu sent him back. Second time he again met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and still he was sent back again. Raghunath Das Goswami meeting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his pure devotional service towards the Lord manifested or evolved. But his attached, his entanglement with the Grasta way of life was not entangled yet. But in Panihati village, Nityanand Prabhu came, and when he met Nityanand Prabhu, then and he took the shelter of Nityanand Prabhu, his entanglement was broken. So I was asked that so whenever I remember Nityanand Prabhu, I just remember the two lines of
करुणा बे आर कबे नीताई चांदे करुणा बे संसार वासना मोर कबे तू बे संसार वासना मोर कबे तू बे विषय छाड़िया कबे शुद्ध बे मन विषय छाड़िया कबे शुद्ध बे मन कबे हम हेरी बो श्री वृंदावन कबे हम हेरी बो Shri Vrindavana. Hey Nityanand Prabhu.
So I just remember the lines of Bhai Narottam Das Thakur. He asked that when will you give me your mercy and my carnal desires of this material world will be absolved? When will I be liberated from all these carnal desires of this material world? And when will I head towards Vrindavan? As by your mercy, Raghunath Das got relief from the entanglement of this material world. So such Nityanand Prabhu manifested today. So we should pray at his lotus feet to provide us pure devotional service of the Lord and to relieve us from the entanglements of this material world. So let's move towards the Shrimad Bhagavatam. Topic is Shruti Phal, or the result or fruit of listening to the Bhagvatam Katha. So there are numerous numbers of different results of reading or listening to different pastimes from Bhagavatam. So if we listen to Gokern Katha, then the ancestors will be relieved.
देव उपासना प्रसंग सुनने से
By
सर्व सिद्धि
listening
प्राप्त
to
होती है।
Pandava's liberation, we
ब्रह्मा
get
जी के
liberated.
द्वारा की गई स्तुति का पाठ करने से
And if we listen
भगवान
to
प्रसन्न
the
हो जाते हैं।
stuti of Brahmaji,
और कल अंत में सुना था
then
भगवान
then the Lord
राम
becomes
ने
ecstatic.
हिरण्याक्ष का वध किया।
And lastly, we heard that
भागवत के
when
तृतीय स्कंद के
Varahadev
25वें
killed
13वें
Hiranyaksh,
इस कथा सुनने से
if we
हिरण्याक्ष
listen to
वध की
that
कथा सुनने से
pastime
आयुष्य
of
प्राप्त
Hiranyaksh
होती है।
death, then
तो
we
भागवत
can
की
have
पांच श्रुति फल हम
longevity
सबने
in
श्रवण
our
किया।
life.
आइए अब श्रीमद् भागवत से छठा श्रुति फल।
So let's proceed to
श्रीमद्
the
भागवत
sixth
में
fruit of the
श्री
Srimad
मैत्रेय मुनि
Bhagavatam.
कहते हैं,
So Maitreya Muni says,
य इदं मनुशृणोति यो भीतते कपिल मुने मतमात्मयोगगुह्यं भगवती कृतधि सुपर्णकेता उपलभते भगवत्पदारविंदम। ये श्रीमद् भागवत के तृतीय स्कंद का 33वें अध्याय का
in the third canto, 37th chapter,
यह मैत्रेय मुनि विदुर जी को कहते हैं
33rd chapter, 37th verse is taken. Maitreji tells to Vidurji that if somebody
इस प्रसंग को अब प्रसंग तो
listens
देखेंगे,
to
लेकिन महिमा
this pastime, we will listen
हे विदुर
the pastime later, but let's listen to the benefit of listening to that. So if someone
प्रसंग को सुनता
listens to this pastime,
अब देखिए यहाँ पर समझने लायक बहुत सुंदर बात है।
so it's there something important to understand here.
यदि कहा होता ना तो चल जाता कि यह इदम इस प्रसंग को श्रुणोति, यदि कोई सुनता है, लेकिन बीच में एक शब्द रखा गया अनुश्रुणोति।
So they have added the word anushrunoti. Even shrunoti would have been sufficient, but yet we have to listen. But how we have to listen? Anushrunoti. So what is the meaning of anu here?
ये तो अब आचार्य, ये श्लोक के अर्थ तो आचार्य, आज मैं वल्लभाचार्य को पढ़ रहा था सुबोध।
Today I was reading from Vallabhacharya Subodhini, and he has written beautifully the meaning of Anushrunoti. This is not Manu but Anu. So Sri Vallabhacharya writes, you should listen by becoming a disciple.
उनकी टीका पढ़िएगा, अनुश्रुणोति शिष्य रूपेण न तु प्रभु रूपेण। ये भागवत सुनो कैसे शिष्य।
So you should listen to the Bhagavad as a disciple, not as a master.
मैं बहुत सीनियर डिवोटी हूँ।
We should not feel that we are exalted or senior devotees. If we think that we are magnificent, then we should not, in that mode, we should not listen to Shrimad Bhagavatam. If you understand this much, that is sufficient for today, I would say. So there can be multiple things that can be included in a disciple or qualities of a disciple.
तो मैं तो केवल जस्ट आपको इतना बता रहा हूँ, यह इदम अनुश्रुणोति, यदि कोई व्यक्ति इस प्रसंग को,
so if somebody listens the Bhagavatam as a disciple, So the first meaning of this is that whenever we listen to the katha, then we should not think that, oh, this one we know, we are aware of this one. So you all know the Harinam as well. Then why you gather here for chanting every day? So why do you chant the holy names every day? We know that how the chapati or rice are, then why do we eat them on a daily basis? So even if we know that doesn't mean that we don't require them. So the first and foremost thing, so the so the first requirement is to understand that I don't know anything. We should be in the mode of humility, thinking that I'm a fool. And this is true because if we think that we know everything, then we won't be able. There is nothing to pleasure. So when we see a movie, so when we see a movie second time, we don't get that much interest or pleasure in watching it again. But if we forget, and after many years, if we rewatch it, then we will find it pleasurable. So the more we forget, the more pleasure we enjoy. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam's pastimes, if we listen again and again in the mode of humility, even if we know, but we just want to enjoy the pleasure, that is why we are listening. That should be our mood. That is the Shishya. The second is the mode of service and humility and a inquisitive nature. So these all can be the qualities of a disciple. So if somebody listens to this pastime in disciple mood, so which is the pastime? That is the knowledge that Kapil Muni shared of Atma Yoga, which is the deepest and the secretive knowledge. And if somebody listens to that, then what happens? So let's understand this word Bhagavati Kritadi. So if somebody listens to the pastime of Devuti and Kapil Muni, then their mind becomes Kritadhi. That means Arpit Buddhi. So, so that means our mind or intellect gets surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord. So the mind has the responsibility to take decisions. But when we listen to the pastimes of Kapil Muni, then our mind will become perfect and take good decisions as we will be surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord. There is another meaning of this word, Kratiki. So, Kapil Muni and Devhuti's pastime or knowledge, if we listen carefully, then where our heart gets fulfilled, our mind gets fulfilled with the pure devotional service towards the Lord. That is Bhakti Yoga. And when our mind gets fulfilled with this pure devotional service towards the Lord, then they achieve the lotus feet of the Lord Himself.
अनुशृणोति यदि कोई व्यक्ति इस प्रसंग को सुनता है, कौन सा
So,
प्रसंग?
if somebody listens to this pastime as a disciple, and which pastime? That is the secretive, deep knowledge of Atma Yoga shared by Kapil Muni.
अब भगवत पदार विंदम लभते, इतना तो आपको समझ में आता
They
है,
achieve the
लेकिन यहाँ पर
lotus
वो
feet
एक
of the
नया
Lord.
शब्द जोड़ रहे हैं कि लभते तो है, लेकिन
So
उपलभते।
labhate
भगवान
is
कपिल देव के
has
इस
a
योग को
prefix
सुनने से
uplabhate
भगवान के
here.
चरण लाभ प्राप्त करते हैं, लेकिन लभते नहीं, उपलभते। तो उपलभते का अर्थ
So
वंशीधर
what is the meaning of uplabhate,
करते हैं
which is
कि उप
written by Vanshidhar ji
अधिक
and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur?
बहुत
They
सीधे तौर
say,
पर अर्थ किया गया है। अब देखो, अब भगवान की कथा तो सब लोग सुनते हैं, तो इसका अर्थ है कि सब लोग
so
भगवान के पास जाएंगे, तो
everybody listens to the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha.
तो हमारे
So there will
अब
be,
इतने सारे लोग भगवान के पास
if
जाएंगे
so
तो
many
लोग थोड़ा
people
बढ़ जाएंगे,
go to the Lord, then
तो फिर
there won't be any
जितने सारे लोग
space.
भगवान के पास होंगे, मतलब जस्ट एक इमेजिन कीजिए, तो
So
फिर
just
भगवान
imagine,
कौन रहेगा, ये भी एक
then
प्रश्न
who
है।
will
ये
be
बड़ी
nearest
बात
to
है
the Lord? So
कि
then
इतने
there
सारे
will
लोग
be
भगवान के
this
पास है, तो फिर
anxiety
कौन रहेगा?
that who will be
तो
nearest to
यहाँ
the
उत्तर
Lord.
दिया गया है
So here it
कि
is
यदि
answered
भगवान
here
कपिल देव की इस कथा
that
को सुनोगे,
if we
तो क्या होगा?
listen to the pastime of
पदार
Kapil
विंदम
Muni,
लभते, भगवान के चरण प्राप्त होंगे,
then
लेकिन कैसे?
we will get the
उपलभते।
lotus feet of
उपलभते
the
का अर्थ
Lord
नीचे क्या करते हैं?
with
उप माने
uplabhate.
आधिक्येन,
Up
आधिक्येन माने
means
प्रेमवत
adhikyena,
पार्षदतया, आधिक्येन माने एकदम निकट,
that is
भगवान की तो प्राप्ति
nearest
होगी,
to the Lord.
लेकिन
So
भगवान की
you not
प्राप्ति
will
बहुत
only
निकट
achieve
से
the
होगी,
Lord, but
माने
you will
भगवान के
achieve
निकट के पार्षद
the
बनोगे।
nearest
यहाँ पर भी
position
एक
of
प्रश्न तो रह ही जाता है ना कि
the
पार्षद
associate
कौन
of the
बनेगा,
Lord.
तो बोले उप माने निकट के, हम कहते हैं ना उपवास, उप माने निकट, तो
So
उप
upvas
निकट,
means
आधिक्येन माने
near to the
बहुत
Lord.
निकट,
Similarly here, uplabhate
भगवान के
means
बहुत निकट
the
पास में
nearest
जाएगा।
eternal associate of the Lord.
और दूसरा क्या होगा? प्रेमवत
And
पार्षदतया,
second thing
भगवान के प्रति
that will happen
प्रेम
is
बढ़
that
जाएगा,
we will
भगवान के प्रति
develop
प्रीति उत्पन्न हो
love
जाएगी।
and
तो
attraction towards the Lord.
पार्षदतया भगवत पदारविंद सेवार्थ प्राप्नोति, और भगवान के चरण की बहुत निकट में
And
सेवा हमें प्राप्त हो जाएगी।
we will
तो
get
श्रीमद्
the
भागवत
nearest
के
devotional
इस प्रसंग को
service
सुनने
of
से,
the Lord.
ये छठा प्रसंग है,
So
और
this is the sixth
सांख्य तत्व
pastime,
दर्शन, इस प्रसंग
and
का नाम है सांख्य
its
तत्व
name is
दर्शन,
Sankhya Tattva
जिसके
Darshan.
द्वारा आत्म योग का गुह्य रहस्य, इसको सुनने
So,
से क्या फल मिलेगा? श्रुति फल क्या है?
so what is the benefit of listening to this
एक वन वर्ड में यदि
pastime
कहना
is
हो तो श्रुति
Bhagvat
फल है भगवत प्रीति।
Preeti in one word,
तो ये छठा प्रसंग है, और भगवान कपिल देव
that
के इस
is
प्रसंग को
the
सुनने से
love
भगवत
for
प्रीति प्राप्त
the
होती है,
Lord
भगवान
Krishna
के प्रति प्रेम
Prema.
प्राप्त होता है। श्रुति फल समझ में आ गया? आइए
So
अब डूबते
we
हैं,
have understood
अब
the
चलते हैं अंदर।
benefit
तो
of
भगवान
this
कपिल
pastime.
देव
So let's
का
discuss
प्रसंग
this
श्रीमद् भागवत के
pastime.
तीसरे स्कंद में है।
So this pastime comes in the third canto.
कपिल देव की माता देवहूति
So
और पिता का
Kapil
नाम है
Dev's
करदम।
father is Kardam Muni and
करदम
mother
ऋषि
is
का जन्म ब्रह्मा जी से हुआ, देवहूति का
Devhuti.
जन्म मनु महाराज
So
की कन्या के रूप में हुआ, और फिर
Kardam
दोनों
Muni
के
was the son of
भगवान किसी
Brahmaji
भक्त के
and
साथ विवाह हो, तो
Devhuti
विवाह
was the
करने
daughter of Manu Maharaj, and they both
करदम और
wanted to
देवहूति का
marry devotee,
विवाह हो गया।
and by
अब
Lord's
करदम ऋषि समाधि
plan
में है,
they
भजन
both
में है,
got married.
और
And
देवहूति
Karda Muni was constantly in meditation,
लगभग 50-60 वर्ष के बाद जब
and
समाधि
after
टूटी
50 60 years
तब करदम ऋषि
of
को ये बात लगी कि
meditation,
मैंने विवाह किया, मुझे मेरी
Karda
पत्नी
Muni
को प्रसन्न
realized
नहीं
that
करना चाहिए।
I married
करदम ऋषि ने
her,
अपने
but I
भक्तों के
haven't
मन
made her
से
happy.
बिंदु
So,
सरोवर में हजारों दासियों को प्रकट किया,
by
अपनी
his
पत्नी देवहूति को बिंदु
Siddhi
सरोवर में भेजा।
accomplishment, he
उन दासियों ने अमृत का पान कराया, सुंदर स्नान
manifested so
कराया,
many
सुंदर
female
श्रृंगार
servants,
कराया
and
और
they
सुंदर रूप धारण करके देवहूति प्रकट हुई। करदम
made
ऋषि ने अपने मनोयोग से
Devuti
एक
so
बहुत विशाल
beautiful
विमान का निर्माण
after
किया
dipping
और
in
पत्नी देवहूति
the
को विमान में
Bindusagar.
बिठाया,
And
आनंद में
he,
विचरण कराया।
after that, he took
मैत्रेय मुनि कहना चाहते हैं
her
कि
with
एक
him in an
भक्त अपनी
aircraft.
पत्नी को जो आनंद दे सकता
So,
है, ये संसार के
Maitre
जितने
Muni is saying
साधन भी
that
उनको उतना
a
आनंद नहीं दे
devotee
सकते जितना एक
can
भक्त
give
अपनी
a
पत्नी को
pleasure that
दे सकता
an
है।
ordinary person cannot give
सो
to his wife
करदम
or
ऋषि ने अपनी
spouse.
पत्नी को विमान में बिठाकर अनेकों
So,
लोक
Karda
ब्रह्मांडों
Muni
में
took
विचरण किया
his wife on an
और फिर जब वापस
aircraft,
लौटे
and when they
तब
were returning back,
देवहूति से 9 कन्या का जन्म हुआ
they
और ये
gave
9
birth to
कन्याओं में
9
अलग अलग
daughters.
ये
And
एक
these
से एक
9
देवता
daughters were
बड़ी हो
not
गई।
like us.
ऐसा नहीं
They
कि उनका पालन पोषण करने में 15-20 साल बीत गए, नहीं,
immediately became
भगवान का योग था। 9
young.
कन्या का जन्म हुआ और देखते ही
So,
देखते बड़ी हो गई। और इवन करदम ऋषि ने अपनी 9 कन्या का विवाह भी करा दिया।
and Kardamuni got them
प्रथम
all
कन्या
married
का
as
नाम
well.
था कला, कला
So
का
the
विवाह
first
मरीचि
was
के साथ
Kala,
कराया।
who was married to
दूसरी कन्या
Marichi.
थी हविर्भू,
Second was
हविर्भू का
Havirbu,
विवाह पुलत्स्य ऋषि
who
के
was
साथ
married to
कराया।
Pulasya Rishi.
तीसरी कन्या का नाम था ख्याति,
Third was
ख्याति का
Khyati,
विवाह भृगु ऋषि के साथ
who
कराया।
was married to Bhrigu
चौथी
Rishi.
कन्या थी अनसुया,
Fourth was
अनसुया का विवाह
Anasuya,
अत्रि ऋषि के
who
साथ
was married
कराया।
to Atre Muni.
पांचवी कन्या हुई गति,
Fifth was
गति का
Gati,
विवाह पुलह
who
ऋषि
was
के साथ कराया।
married to Pulaha Rishi.
छठी कन्या थी
Sixth was
अरुंधति, अरुंधति
Arundhati,
का विवाह वशिष्ठ जी के साथ
who
कराया।
was married to
सातवीं
Vashisht Muni.
कन्या थी श्रद्धा,
Seventh was
श्रद्धा का
Shraddha,
विवाह अंगिरा के साथ कराया।
who was married to Angira
आठवीं
Rishi.
कन्या थी क्रिया,
Eighth was
क्रिया का
Kriya,
विवाह कृतु ऋषि
and
के साथ
she
कराया।
was married to
और
Kritu
नौवीं
Muni.
कन्या थी
And the
शांति,
ninth one
शांति का
was
विवाह
Shanti,
अथर्व ऋषि के साथ कराया।
who was married
तो
to
इस
Atharva
प्रकार
Rishi. So, in this
करदम ऋषि
manner,
ने अपनी 9 की 9 कन्या का
Karda
विवाह
Muni
कराया।
married off all
और
his 9
करदम ऋषि
daughters,
अब
and
घर पर कोई नहीं।
they had no one
और
at the
फिर
home again.
माँ देवहूति ने कहा था कि आपने मुझे
And
वादा किया कि
Devuti
आप
said
एक
that
पुत्र प्रदान
you
करोगे।
promised me that you will
सो
provide me with a
करदम और
son.
देवहूति दोनों हरि के भक्त थे
So
और भक्तों से
Karda
देखकर
Muni
बहुत
and
प्रसन्न हो गए।
Devuti were
इसलिए महाप्रभु
both
ने
devotees
एक
of the Lord,
पुत्र बनकर
and
प्रकट हो
the
गए।
Lord became so much
जिस
happy
गृहस्थी
with
में
their devotional
पति
service
और पत्नी
that
दोनों भगवान
the
के
Lord
भक्त हैं,
Himself
तो वहां
manifested as
भगवान को
their son.
बुलाना नहीं
So
पड़ता,
when
भगवान
husband
स्वयं
and
अपने
wife
आप पुत्र बनकर प्रकट
do
होते
the
हैं।
devotional service towards the
इसलिए
Lord,
अन्य
then
अवतारों
they
में
do
भगवान
not
को
need to
बुलाना पड़ा कि
call
जय जय
the
सुरदायक जन सुखदायक आइए
the
हमारे
Lord,
प्रिय,
but the
नहीं
Lord
बुलाना
Himself
नहीं पड़ा।
manifest.
देखा इतनी सुंदर घर गृहस्थी,
When they
पति
saw,
पत्नी दोनों भजन
when the
करते
Lord
हैं।
saw that such a
यहाँ
beautiful
तक कि
householder
चाणक्य
family,
पंडित ने नीति में एक
the
श्लोक लिखा है,
Lord said
राजेश
that
जी,
this is the place I
चाणक्य
should
पंडित ने एक
go
बहुत सुंदर बात कही है
as a
कि
son.
जिसके घर में
Chanakya Pandit says
खाने
that
के लिए ठीक से अन्न हो, मतलब
if
खाना
a
पीना
person has
तो
sufficient
उसकी
grains
पत्नी
to
उनकी बात
fulfill
मानती
their
हो,
stomach, and
जिनके
the
घर में
second,
साधु संतों का
whose
आगमन होता
wife
हो,
listens to their
जिनके घर
husband,
में हरिनाम
third,
होता हो,
who
जिनके घर में
welcomes
कीर्तन होता
saints,
हो,
and fourth, who chant the
उनको
holy names,
वैकुंठ
or
जाने की
fifth,
जरूरत
the
ही नहीं है क्योंकि उनका
Sankirtan in
घर
their
ही
home,
वैकुंठ
they
है।
don't need go
और
to
जिनके घर
Vaikuntha
में
because
पति
their home
मानते न
itself
हो,
is Vaikuntha.
बच्चे अपने माँ बाप का मानते न हो,
And in the home
जिनके घर में
where
साधु संतों का
hus
आगमन न हो,
wife or
हरि
the kids
कीर्तन न
don't
हो, उस
listen
व्यक्ति
to
को नरक में
the
जाने की जरूरत
husband,
नहीं है। क्यों?
and they don't
क्योंकि
chant
यात्रा
or they
नरक
don't
या ही
welcome
उसके
the
लिए है,
saints,
घर ही नरक है।
then the
उसे
home
नरक में
itself becomes
घर ही
hell.
उसके लिए नरक है, उसे नरक में जाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं। कहने का अर्थ यह है कि घर पर
So the meaning here
पति में
is
प्रेम हो और दोनों
that
भजन करे,
if
दोनों
there
धर्म का
is
आचरण
love
करें,
between the
भगवान
spouses
स्वयं
and
पृथ्वी पर
If they both surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord, then the Lord Himself manifests
इसी प्रकार बुलाना
as
नहीं
their
पड़ा
son.
करदम और देवहूति के सुगंधित स्वच्छ पवित्र
Seeing
जीवन को
the
देखकर स्वयं
purity
भगवान ही प्रकट
in
हुए
the life
कार्तिक
of
महीना
Devhuti
कृष्ण
and
पक्ष
Kardamuni
बुधवार के
on
दिन
the Kartik
स्वयं
month,
भगवान विष्णु
Krishna
कपिल
Paksh,
देव के रूप में करदम और देवहूति
Lord
के पुत्र
Vishnu
के रूप में प्रकट हुए
manifested
श्री
as
कपिल देव
Kapil Muni, Shri
भगवान
Kapil Dev
की
Bhagwan.
सो भगवान कपिल देव प्रकट हुए
So
और
Lord
भगवान
Kapil
कपिल देव
Dev
भी देखते देखते बड़ा हो गए
manifested
उनको
and
बड़े होने
he
में क्या
became
टाइम लगा
young
और जब
very
ये बड़े हो
soon.
गए तो फिर
He
करदमुनि
became an
ने
adult.
सोचा कि बस अब मेरी घर पर आवश्यकता नहीं है
And
मुझे
now
भजन करना
Kardamuni
चाहिए
thought that
निरंकार को
now
जानना चाहिए
I am no more required here, so
एक
I
दिन
should
आए
move towards
अपने
Vaneprastha.
पुत्र के पास
So
करके
he came
और
to his
पूछा अब
son
भजन करना चाहता
and
हूँ
said that
मैं
I
पूछता हूँ
want
कि अब मैं
to
सन्यास ले लूँ
focus on my
या
devotional
मैं
service. I
लेना
want to
चाहता हूँ
take the
तो
aesthetic
भगवान कपिल देव
life.
बोले
I
पिताजी
want to
मेरे
take
लिए बहुत
sannyas.
सोचा है आपने
So
आपको
Kapil
माता जी
Muni
की
said
कोई चिंता नहीं मैं घर
that
पर हूँ
this is
मैं
the
जाके
perfect
रहूंगा
way.
और
You
आप
need not to worry about
यदि
my
मुझे
mother.
संतुष्ट हो
I will take
यदि
care
मुझे
of
खुश
her.
रखो तो
And
बेशक
if
आप
you ask my
संन्यास लो
suggestion, then you should
और
leave
मई संन्यस्त कर्मणा और संन्यास धर्म का पालन करो और
and
भारत
follow
धर्म
the
का
sannyasa
पालन करो और
principle.
भजन करके जितवा सुदुस्त्यजम मृत्यु जिस मृत्यु को जीतना कठिन है
And
दुस्त्य दुरु है
it
लेकिन
it
भागवत
is
के आश्रय करके
difficult
अमृतम त्वम
to
महाराज
defeat
आप
death,
अमृत को प्राप्त करो
but by surrendering
ऋषिकेश
to,
पुत्र
at the lotus feet of the
तो
Lord,
पुत्रों का भी कर्तव्य होता है
you can
कि हमारे पैरों तले
achieve
बड़े हो
that
जाए
feat.
तो उनको
So
रिटायर करे उनको निवृत्त
as
कर
a
दे
as
और
children,
गृहस्थी
it
के
is our
बंधन से मुक्त कर
responsibility
दे
that we
उनको
should
निवृत्त
relieve
करने का
our
अवकाश
parents
प्राप्त हो
out of
आप
the
भजन कीजिए
familial obligations
सो इस प्रकार से
and free
करदम
them so
मुनि
that they can
और करदम ऋषि
pursue
जब वन में चले गए अब
bhakti.
तो भगवान कपिल देव घर पर है माँ देवहूति घर पर
So
है
now Kardam
लेकिन
Muni has left and
देवहूति के
Kapil
मन में
Muni and
शांति है
Devhuti are there,
बड़ी
and
चिंतित है और माँ
Devhuti is
देवहूति
quite
बड़ी दुखी
distressed,
होकर भगवान
and
कपिल
Mother
देव के पास
Devhuti
आती है
is
दुख
so
का
distressed that
वर्णन
she
कहती है
comes to Kapil Muni
हे प्रभु
and she
आज मैं आपकी
says
माँ बनकर नहीं
that
मैं
today I
एक
have come
शिष्य
here
एक जिज्ञासु
not as
बनकर
a
आपके
mother
पास आई हूँ
but as a disciple. Have come here to
मेरे जीवन
inquire.
में बहुत अशांति है
My
मेरे मन
life
में
is
बहुत अशांति
filled
है
with distress and
मैं अनेकों
unpeace.
प्रकार के कष्ट दुखों से ग्रस्त हूँ प्रभु आप बताइए कि
Oh
इन
Lord,
दुखों से मुक्त
please
होने
let
के
me
लिए
know
मुझे क्या करना
how
चाहिए
I should get relieved of my distress
तब
and
भगवान कपिल
pain.
देव कहते हैं कि माँ
Kapil Muni says that,
पहले तो
oh
ये समझो
mother,
कि दुख का कारण क्या है
that first we should understand what is the
दुख
reason
से
of
मुक्त होने
our
की बात तो बाद में करेंगे
unhappiness
पहले दुख का कारण
or
क्या है ये तो
sadness.
समझ लीजिए
So,
दुख
to
का कारण
relieve,
क्या
first we
है
need to
तो भगवान
understand what
कपिल
is the
देव
root
कहते हैं
cause of our
असंगम
sadness.
अजरम पाशम आत्मानम कवयो विदुहु बड़े बड़े कवियों ने
So,
मनीषियों ने
great
दुख का
sages
कारण बताया है
have said
बंधन
that the reason of the pain or
दुख का कारण
sadness
है
is
बंधन
our
इस दुनिया में
attachment
अनेकों प्रकार के बंधन
or
हमें दुख देते
bondage
हैं
that give
तो
us
फिर बंधन
distress
का कारण
and
क्या है
sadness.
तो
And
कहते हैं
what is the
असंगम
reason of
आसक्ति अटैचमेंट
this bondage? That is
इस संसार में
attachment
किसी वस्तु और व्यक्ति से
to
आसक्ति हो जाती
the
है और उस
material
आसक्ति उस
things and
अटैचमेंट के कारण
people.
माँ
And due to
बंधन
that
हो जाता है
attachment, we are
आसक्ति के
bounded.
कारण बंधन हो जाता है और ये बंधन ही हमें दुख देता है
And this bondage is the
तब
root
कपिल
cause
देव
of
कहते हैं
our
तो प्रभु
sadness
इस
and
बंधन से मुक्त
distress.
होने के लिए क्या
So
करें
Devhuti asked,
भगवान कपिल
what
देव
should
कहते
I
हैं
do to relieve of this
सबके
bondage?
हृदय में आसक्ति है यहाँ
Kapil
मैं
Muni says
कभी
that
भी दावा नहीं कर
all
सकता
our hearts,
कि भाई मैं
everyone's
आसक्ति
heart
से मुक्त हूँ
is filled
लेकिन
with
आप देखते हैं
desires.
लेकिन समय
And we automatically becomes attached to something. And there is no way that we can separate that attachment from us. So Lord Kapil Dev gave a very beautiful example. Let me show you in the verse in front of your screen. He says that the attachment is the prime reason of our distress.
मतलब स माने वह आसक्ति साधु
So
शुक्र
if sadhu shukritu, if we attach ourselves or with, so we need not to get detached, but we can divert it where, so whatever attachment we have, the same attachment we should divert towards the sadhus or sages or in satsanga. So, so she asks, what will happen if we do that? So Kapil Muni says that the attachment that we have towards the material world, if we divert it to the saints or satsanga, then it opens the doors of liberation, moksha dwar amapavritam. It opens the heart of the doors of liberation. Even Lord Ram ji has said that we have got this human life, means that we are at the door of liberation. But here he's telling about not the
लेकिन मनुष्य जीवन मिलकर
door
साधु
of
संतों
liberation, but he's telling how to open these doors of liberation. So when we associate ourselves with the sages, saints, and do satsanga, then the doors of liberation will open for us.
कितनी सुंदर बात, कितना सुंदर सिद्धांत.
How beautiful this philosophy is. We all have attachment, but we should have it attached to devotees or sadhus. So, so devotee asked that who is the real sadhu? So it is easier to recognize a doctor by seeing their degree. Even an engineer can be known, but in this age, it is difficult to know who is a sadhu. So, who is a sadhu? Kapil Muni answers, he says that a saint is not by appearance or his clothes or hair. It is not external way that he presents, but his is understood by his internal qualities.
साधु का परिमाण जो है ना, उनके गुण होते हैं.
So the qualities inherent in a person reveal that the saintly qualities. So what are the saintly qualities with whom we should associate? So the first is titikshva, means who is tolerant. Okay, who tolerate everything and yet stay firm on his principles. If they have to chant at the Brahma Muhurat or go for Mangla Aarti, they stay firm in every weather. Titikshava. The second is in this Kali Yuga, if you want to do something good, you will become notorious.
इतने बदनाम हुए हैं जमाने में, इतने बदनाम हुए हैं
We have
जमाने में,
become so notorious that ages will pass to forget it.
इसलिए तो कहा गया साधु वो है
So, a real sadhu is one who do good and yet he becomes notorious. So the first meaning is of a saint is to tolerate tikshva in Sanskrit. And to tolerate this much is still easy. But the toughest is to tolerate the flattery or appreciation by others. So we don't have any quality of a saint. And when we have 2-4 followers, and when they say that you are such a good speaker, so we think that after Prabhupada, I am the best orator. So if somebody praises us, then we should know how to tolerate it. We should divert it towards our bona fide spiritual master. That it is all by the mercy of Prabhupada and Vedvyas. This is the highest job, a toughest job of a sadhu or saint. If we ex- accept even one praise, then our saintly qualities will be absolved or killed. So Santadev went to take a dip in the winters, and he was about to go and visit Lord Vittal. And the third floor, a Yavan was brushing his teeth, and he threw the water on from his mouth on Namdevji. And then again he went to Chandrabhaga river to take a shower. And this guy was still standing there, filled with water. And then he again put it on Namdevji or Eknathji. So he again went to take a bath. So 50 times he went and took the bath in winters. 50 times this guy did the same thing. But again, Namdevji didn't said a single word and took a. And when this guy realized his folly, he bowed down at the lotus feet of Sant Namdevji, seeing his tolerance. Namdevji said that you need not to touch my feet. It is I who should bow down at your lotus feet. So he said that I have offended you, but then why? So he said that it is very difficult to take a dip in this Chandrabhaga river in extreme winter, but because of your mercy, I took a dip 50 times today. So we should have the tolerance. That is the first or foremost quality of a saint. And the second is karunika. That means mercy.
अब यहाँ ये सब निकल जाते हैं, मैं धर्म के नाम नहीं लूंगा, लेकिन जो लोग कहते हैं ना एनिमल हैव नो सोल, अंडे खाओ, रोज संडे हो या मंडे, अब जो बड़े बड़े साधुओं के चोले पहनकर ये मांस खाने की आज्ञा देते हैं और खिलाते हैं, और अपने
those who say, who eat and kill animals, and they say that we are preaching religion, then they are not saints, because a saint should be merciful. He will not even kill an ant. And killing cows and goats is far more sinister. And the third is suhrad, that is well-wisher. Who is well-wisher of all, who has this tendency to help everyone, is suhrid. Then sarvadehi naam.
श्लोक में देख सकते हैं.
So suhad, sarvadehi naam suhad means one who thinks of the welfare of everyone. And the second line, Ajat Shatrava, who has no enemy.
जैसे इतिहास में धर्मराज युधिष्ठिर,
As Dharmraj Yudhishthir had no enemy.
कभी भी अपने मन में किसी को शत्रु माने ही नहीं.
And he never thought of anybody as his enemy. Then why did he fought in Mahabharata? But it was Duryodhana who started the battle, not Yudhishthira. Once Duryodhana was captivated or captured by someone, and when Yudhishthira ji got this news, so he gathered all his brothers, and he said that we should go and unbound him. So they said that he is our enemy, why should we save him? So Yudhishthira ji said that whatever may happen, but in front of this material world, we are not 5 brothers, but we are 105 brothers. You should always remember that. So that is the quality of a saint, Ajat Shatru, who has no enmity towards anyone. Shant means who is not attached to sense gratification. And sadhu is who follows the Shastras, that is sadhu bhushan. And what is the feeling of sadhu?
भक्तिम कुर्वन्ति वै दृढ़ाम. साधु वो है जो अनन्य भाव से, अनन्य
माने न
कृष्ण तो कृष्ण, राम तो राम, जिसको माना उन्हीं को ठाना.
तो worships only one, who is firm in his faith.
अनन्य भाव से भक्ति करता है. और दूसरी लाइन में मत कृते, कभी कभी मुझ कृष्ण के लिए त्यक्त कर्मण, वो अपना कर्म त्याग देता.
For me, he even leaves his own karma or
त्यक्त स्वजन बांधवा, जरूरत
पड़ने पर not only his actions or karma, but when the time comes, he even leaves his family members. That is the quality of a saint.
बंधु भरत महतारी है. प्रहलाद ने अपने पिता को त्यागा, भरत ने अपनी
left his father. Bharat ji disowned his mother, and gopis left their
मुझ कृष्ण के लिए,
family and everyone.
ये सब त्यागे और
For
फिर
whom? For me.
मुद मंगलकारी, सब मंगल को प्राप्त हो गए,
And they all
क्योंकि मेरे लिए किया ना
got.
साधु। अच्छा, साधु का कार्य क्या होता है? ये तो गुण है। तो कहते हैं साधु का एक ही कार्य होता है, मद आश्रया, मेरे आश्रय में रहकर मत कथा मृष्टा, वो मेरी कथा में रचा पचा रहता है।
So, what is Mad Ashraya?
साधु वो है,
He is always
मेरा आश्रय
engrossed
कथा में ही रचा। भगवत गीता में
in
भी यही कहा गया,
my pastimes
रमन्ति च। गीता में कृष्ण क्या कहते हैं कि
and
साधु
who is
वो
fully surrendered to me.
मेरी वार्ता में रमे रहते हैं।
That is mentioned in Bhagvat Gita as well.
मेरी कथा, अच्छा कथा में कैसे रमे रहते हैं? तो कहते हैं शृणुवंती, साधु पहले कथा को सुनता है।
So, the saint
ऐसा नहीं
first, Shrunvanti means listens.
नहीं,
It's not the day and night he just speaks.
मेरी कथा में रचा पचा रहते हैं साधु। कैसे? खूब शृणुवंती, खूब
He
सुनते हैं,
listens a lot.
और फिर समय आने पर कथयन,
And when the time comes, he sings the pastimes of the Lord. So Devhuti Mataji asked that, that how they fulfill their
ये सब कैसे चलता है?
material obligations
माँ तो सब सोचती है। तब भगवान
because
कपिल
they
देव
don't do any work.
सुनता है, कथा बोलता है,
So this Kapil Muni says that he only listens and speaks the pastimes of the Lord,
दुख आते हैं, ऐसा नहीं साधु के जीवन
and
में दुख नहीं आते।
he faced troubles in his life.
कथा में जो रचा पचा रहते हैं उसके
Tapanti with tapa,
लेकिन वो दुख साधु
but
को नहीं,
natin madadachitesa, they cannot touch him because he is protected
दुख आएंगे लेकिन वो दुख उसे
by
कर पाएंगे।
the
वो तो बिल्कुल 8 पहर आनंद ही आनंद में रहेगा।
Krishna Prema.
आनंद संत
He is
फकीर,
always in pleasure or ecstasy.
फकीर करे, जो आनंद संत फकीर करे, जो आनंद संत फकीर करे, वो आनंद नाही अमीरी में, वो आनंद नाही अमीरी में, सुख दुख में समता साथ रहे, सुख दुख में समता साथ रहे, वो खौफ नहीं जागीरी में, जो आनंद संत फकीर करे। कहते हैं तपंती विविधास्तापा।
So Kapil Muni says that who is protected by singing the glories of the Lord, they might face difficulty, but they are untouched by them. That is the quality of a saint. And we should associate with such devotees or saints.
शुरुआत कहाँ से हुई थी? जो अटैचमेंट, जो आसक्ति संसार के लोगों में है, वो साधुओं
So
में
the attachment that we have towards material world, we should divert it or dovetail it towards sadhus and what are the qualities we discussed.
साधुओं की जब संगति करोगे ना,
And when
तो
we
केवल एक ही चीज
associate
हो,
with such saints, then only one thing will happen,
वीर्य संवेदो, मेरी कथा होगी, मेरी गुण रूप
then
चर्चा होगी,
my pastimes will be discussed.
मेरी कथा भवंती रित कर्ण रसायणा कथा, मेरी कथा जो है ना, कृष्ण कथा,
It my pastime or Krishna Katha,
हृदय को भी आनंद देती है,
it
कर्ण को भी
gives
आनंद
pleasure to the heart and ears both.
अपवर्ग वर्तमनी, यदि उस कथा को निरंतर सुना जाए,
And
ऐसे
if
साधु
we listen to it constantly,
तो क्रमशः श्रद्धा उत्पन्न होती है, रति उत्पन्न होती है,
then
भक्ति उत्पन्न होती है,
attachment,
और फिर अंत में
pure devotion service towards the Lord,
अपवर्ग माने वैकुंठ
all get generated.
धाम की
And we get the eternal abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha.
आपको
That is why
ऐसे साधुओं की संगति करनी
you
चाहिए।
should associate with
जब इस प्रकार
saints, O Mother.
देवहूति ने सुना,
So
माता
this
देवहूति
kind of preaching was done
में लगा,
by Kapil Muni to Devhuti,
उनकी आसक्ति दूर हुई,
and
चिंता दूर हुई,
her attachment got relieved. She became peaceful,
गंगा सागर चले गए और
and
जीवन
Kapil Muni went was Ganga Sagar. And then Maitri Muni writes in the end
यदि इस प्रसंग को कोई सुनता है,
that if you listen to this pastime,
प्रसंग को, तो भगवती कृतधि सुपर्ण केता
then
उपलभते भगवत पदारविंदम, भगवान में प्रीति प्राप्त कर लेता है
we get
और
Krishna Prema or love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
प्रकार से
and we become the nearest associate of the Lord. So this is the sixth
समय हो चुका है, तो यहीं पर विराम करते हैं।
fruit or benefit of the pastime. So the time is up. So I'm really thankful to all of you to listening to this katha with so much mellows. I especially want to thank the organizers, Shri Ramvati ji, Rajesh Prabhu, Mata, Sanjay ji, Saroj ji, Naresh ji, Seema ji, and all the kids.
नारायण हरि प्रिया नव्या, आप सभी भक्तों को भूरी भूरी धन्यवाद।
I thank you all. By
ले रहे हैं
your help, so many people are getting the benefit of this katha. So let's end this fourth day session with Jai Jaikar.
पुराण की, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु